Hey there, this is Andrew bringing you another Keyforge deck reveal and review. This is going to be a Worlds Collide deck. Not Mass Mutation, unfortunately, but our day will come. Really excited about the Saurian in Mass Mutation. Scylla and Charybdis look awesome. If you don't even need to look up the spoiler just to know that there are Scylla and Charybdis in the set, I think is pretty sick. So I hope you're excited about that too. Ooh, Furyk, or Furyk, that's interesting. Furyk the Burning. That's a great name. I'm going to expect Brobnar and Dees and Star Alliance. We'll see. Wow, no Brobnar, and a classic Coda Great House set. Less exciting in Worlds Collide, but we got Shadows, Untamed, and Dees. The burning must come from the Dees, but I mean Fury having that not be Brobnar is a little sad, and we wonder, was the algorithm having an off day for naming when this happened? Dear algorithm, please social distance. You don't seem well. To be fair, I'll rant while I'm opening this. I don't really like calling it social distancing because I don't think we need to be socially distant. We need to be physically distant. So, I don't know. That's nitpicky. But if you know me, you know I'm nitpicky. Alright. Furyk the Burning. So, Shadows, I'm hoping for some plinky damage to control the board a little bit. Some steel, obviously, and generally amber control. Maybe some disruption. And in Dees, I'm definitely hoping for some disruption, some amber loss for my opponent, some board control effects. And in Untamed, I'm looking for things that'll just help accelerate using my board a little more. Maybe a little board control. Alright, in Dees we have Buzzle. Often underappreciated, I think. I didn't like it at first, but I've grown to love it. Buzzle's a 3-power beast with Skirmish, and it has Play Fight. You may purge one of Buzzle's neighbors if you do ready Buzzle. I would love to get this with like a Pan Pack of Jaga so it comes out big. We'll see. But the ability to pop out and fight multiple times in a turn and maybe purge some creatures that are like your worst creatures, it can be pretty good. We got 2 Buzzles, that's not bad. They can feed off of each other a little sometimes. Dendrix, really not excited about that. It's a 5-power demon with Fight. Your opponent discards a random card from their hand. Since I don't tend to love discard from hand effects, to me I just treat this as a 5-power body, and that's fine. But sometimes in the right circumstances, I'm not going to feel bad about purging it with the Buzzle. Draining Touch is an action that lets you destroy a creature with no amber on it. That can be quite strong, because it can be a creature of any size, really. 2 of those. Wow, multiples of these is just a thing, isn't it? Imp Spectre is a 2-power imp with destroyed. Purge a random card from your opponent's hand. That can be really nice. Definitely a combo breaker. Yeah, and you hit the right card and your opponent's real sad. So I tend to not, just like with Dust Imp, I tend to not want to rush the destruction of things like this. I'd rather have it out there and reaping and then just have the opponent feel like, oh gosh, I want to do a board wipe and now I'm going to, and this terrible thing is going to happen to me. I like when my opponent feels that way. Not Finished With You is an action with a bonus amber that says shuffle any number of creatures from your discard pile into your deck. We'll have to look for creatures that are good targets. Maybe a Buzzle, maybe the Imp Spectre, but probably not. Got 2 of those. See what we get in the other houses. In Shadows, usually there are some good targets for that. Maybe an Untamed too. The Evil Eye is an action with a bonus amber that says keys cost +3 during your opponent's next turn. Bornit is fun if it fires. It's a 3-power demon that says reveal the top 5 cards of a player's deck, purge a card revealed this way, shuffle the other revealed cards into that deck. That's really nice if it fires. It's a 3-power thing that has to sit out there long enough to reap, so that's iffy. Spider is a 2-power demon with Skirmish, and it gains poison while it's attacking an enemy flank creature. So sometimes some really good board control. Lesser Octet is a 3-power demon with elusive, and when you play it, you purge each card in your hand, and then when it reaps, keys cost +3 during your opponent's next turn. I think if you can manage to play this at a time where you want to do the purge, it can be really strong. Thinning out your deck from the worst cards is a really strong thing to do. Oh, okay, we got ourselves an anomaly here. That's exciting. This one's in shadows. And probably most of you know, but just in case you don't, an anomaly can show up in any house. It's equally as likely to show up in any house. And this is a fun one. It is an upgrade with a bonus amber, and it gives the creature it's attached to invulnerable, which means that the creature can't be destroyed or dealt damage. And the creature gains Fight, Reap, Archive, Ghost form. So the Ghost form doesn't stay on the creature forever, but it can be a good way to keep the creature safe for at least a turn or two. It's also not immune to things like Nature's Call, stuff like that. But it's a pretty strong effect, so that's really exciting. We got ourselves a Hawk. That's an artifact with a bonus amber. This says not an artifact, it's an action, but it destroys an artifact, and if you do, you gain an extra amber. So potentially a 2 amber gain, and destroying an opponent's artifact is a really strong effect. We got 2 of those. Nice. Hugger Mugger is a 3-power elf thief with elusive. When you play it, you capture an amber. Then, if your opponent has more forged keys than you, steal 1. This is fine. I'm never really sad to see Hugger Mugger. I probably would usually rather have Ronnie's instead, but Hugger Mugger can be pretty nice. It's definitely not a bad creature. Inky Gloom is an action. When you play it, your opponent cannot use creatures to reap on their next turn. Javinda is a 2-power elf thief with elusive and reap. Deal 1 to a creature. If this damage destroys that creature, steal 1 amber. We haven't seen any 1-powers yet, but that's fine. Usually it'll have things it can hit, so that can be nice. Trust No One is an action with play steal 1. If there are no friendly creatures in play, instead steal 1 amber for each house represented among enemy creatures, to a maximum of 3. Importantly here, if there are no creatures on the board, Trust No One doesn't steal anything. If you have no creatures on the board, then it can steal anywhere between 0 and 3. But if you have any creatures on the board, then it will just steal 1. Umbra is a 2-power elf thief with skirmish, fight, steal 1. That's a nice thing to put the ghost form on. Keep it alive until you go to use it. Skeleton Key is an artifact that exhausts to have a friendly creature capture 1. I wouldn't be shy about hawking this if my opponent didn't have anything to hawk, but it can be nice to just have out on the board. Slows them down just a little bit. Finchcloak is a 4-power elf thief with fight, reap. If you have less amber than your opponent, you steal 1. Otherwise, each player gains 1. So it's just a good way to accelerate the game a little bit. Yeah, that's a fun card. Ring of Invisibility is an upgrade with a bonus amber, and it gives a creature elusive and skirmish. Now I think, this I wouldn't mind putting on the Dendrix, although honestly, if I had the choice, I'd probably put on the Bornet just for that elusive to keep the Bornet alive, but putting on a Dendrix could be okay. Deesplant is a 1-power elf thief with elusive, and it says after a player chooses Dees as their active house, gain 1 amber. That's nice. Alright, on to Untamed. We got Harmonia, who's a 2-power human witch with elusive, and after you play a creature, if there are more enemy creatures than friendly creatures, gain an amber. That includes when you play Harmonia. People get confused because Hunting Witch says, if you play another creature, you gain 1, but Harmonia affects herself as well. And looking here, we aren't going to have like a really strong board presence, so there's a decent chance that when Harmonia comes around, you are behind on creatures if you're playing this one. 2 of those, that's nice. Imprinted Mermook is a 3-power beast with elusive, and it makes your keys cost -1. Song of the Wild is iffy. It's an action that says play for the remainder of the turn. Each friendly creature gains reap, gain an amber. So it makes your creatures double reap, but you have to have creatures sitting on the board for this to do you any good. Tantadlin is our biggest creature, but not our fightiest. It's a 9-power tree that only deals 2 damage when it fights, but after it fights, you discard a random card from your opponent's archives. That can be really nice. So potential there, but in my experience, Tantadlin is mostly kind of just a fizzle. Unnatural Selection is an action with a bonus amber. When you play it, you choose 3 friendly creatures and 3 enemy creatures, and you destroy each other creature. Fangtooth Cavern is so interesting in a deck like this that has low power creatures, because it's just, you know, the likelihood of Fangtooth Cavern hurting you more than it hurts your opponent is pretty high. But that's okay. It's an artifact with a bonus amber. You can hawk it. It says that at the end of your turn, destroy the least powerful creature. If there's a tie, then you choose because you're the active player. Oh wow, 2 Fangtooth Caverns. Oh, I mean, this means the board is probably going to stay pretty empty. Fogbank is an action with a bonus amber that says your opponent can creatures to fight on their next turn. Grasping Vines is an action with a bonus amber that lets you return up to 3 artifacts to their owner's hands. Wow, you use that with you play your Fangtooths, use the Grasping Vines, play them again. That's a 5 amber combo. That's crazy. Low Dawn is an action with a bonus amber. If there are 3 or more untamed creatures in your discard pile, and we've only seen 4 so far, then you gain 2 extra amber, and then you shuffle each untamed creature from your discard pile into your deck. That happens either way. And still not another creature. We got another artifact. Creed of Nature, which is an artifact that's a power. It has Omni. Sacrifice it. If you do, you choose a creature, and for the remainder of the turn, that creature gets Skirmish and Assault X, where X is its power. So, yeah, this could be nice for taking something out. I think that Creed of Nurture is the stronger card of the 2, but you know, psychologists have been arguing about that for years and years. That is Furyk the Burning. In terms of amber, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Again, pretty high for Worlds Collide. That's pretty solid. I think what I'd be worried about in this deck is there's not a lot of board control nor amber control. So you're kind of in a race, and I don't know that it's the best equipped to just win a race. But thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and that you will forge those keys.